Welcome back to A Gentleman's Guide. What started as a simple date turned into one of the most unexpected and eye-opening experiences of my life. The story I'm about to share is a little embarrassing, but more than anything, it's a lesson worth sharing. Everyone talks about how dangerous it is for women out there, but no one mentions that men can be targets too. Last November, I had to be in the US for work. After that, I thought I'd squeeze in a little solo vacation and chose Colombia. I'd already been there in 2022, traveling along the Caribbean coast, Cartagena, Santa Marta, all the way east. I loved it. I met really cool people and even dated a bit. But I kept hearing about Medellín, the place to be. I didn't have time to visit back then, so this time, with 1 week off, I booked my flight. The account that follows should by no means be taken as a reflection of Colombia as a country or its people. In fact, it's a stunning place, and most of the locals I've met are friendly and welcoming. As long as you take some precautions, traveling Colombia is generally safe. I've met foreigners who lived there for years without a single safety issue. Still, Medellín has its reputation. The city was once Escobar's playground, as you probably know, and that legacy lingers. But it's also modern, buzzing, and full of life. Known as the city of eternal spring for its pleasant year-round climate, Medellín has become a hotspot for digital nomads. And let's be honest, if you're a single guy heading to Colombia, meeting women is probably on the agenda. And yeah, I get it. Colombian women are stunning. The attention you get as a foreigner is kind of ridiculous. So I land in Medellín. I skip El Poblado, the typical tourist spot, and stay in Laureles. Time Out even called it the coolest neighborhood in the world in 2023. I find a solid Airbnb and everything feels perfect. Like a lot of guys, I was using Bumble. But here's something you notice fast. A lot of profiles are escorts. So you learn to filter, ask direct questions, and only make a date if the vibe feels right. That's how I met Manuela. Her profile wasn't flashy, just normal. We met for coffee around 5 p.m. She was attractive, a bit shy. She had a pleasant, easygoing vibe. So we kept hanging out. We grabbed dinner, some drinks, and eventually we came back to my place. Now, I know what you're thinking. Bro, really? First date and she's back at your apartment in Medellín? And yeah, fair point. But I dated in Colombia before with no issues. Plus, my building had night security. Except that night, oddly, the guard wasn't there. Still, I didn't think much of it. Back at my place, we drank some wine, watched reggaeton videos, practiced my terrible Spanish. Eventually, we ended up in the bedroom. And honestly, everything was normal. We had a great night. Around 2 a.m., she called an Uber and left. End of story? Not quite. The next day, Sunday, I'm out exploring Medellín, planning to hit a pub crawl that night. Around 6 p.m., I get a message from Manuela. Hey, I'm near your place. Want me to stop by? I mean, it's flattering. She was attractive. She'd already been over, and she didn't seem the kind of person that could get me in trouble. So I said yes. She shows up. Same calm, friendly vibe. We grab a bottle of aguardiente from the shop downstairs, order pizza, throw on some music videos. At one point, I go to the bathroom, come back, sit down, take a sip of my drink, and then nothing. Ever had surgery with general anesthesia? 1 second you're there, the next, it's hours later. That's exactly what it felt like. I took a sip and then boom, total blackout. I woke up 12 hours later to someone calling my name. It was a property manager. Why are you still here? Didn't you have a flight? I blink. Feel dizzy. Try to piece things together. I'm expecting to see Manuela right next to me, but she's not there. Phone, gone. Wallet, backpack, gone. But the passport, sitting neatly on my table. That's not an accident, by the way. A lot of victims just grab their passport and leave, too embarrassed to report it. But I didn't. I went to the police, froze my cards, but after 12 hours, I feared the worst. And yeah, I was right. While I was sleeping like a baby, she used my fingerprint to unlock my phone, got into a banking app, again using my fingerprint, managed to display the PIN of my debit card, went onto an ATM and withdrew a good chunk of money until the card froze. Looking back, I felt disappointed that I was naive enough to fall for this trick. I'd heard that spiking tourist rings was a known tactic in Colombia. That being said, I didn't expect the scenario to unfold like this. It's important to understand the tactic here. She used the first night to scope me out, checking for security, spotting anything worth stealing, and building trust. Then, the next day, she made her move. She even timed it perfectly, knowing I was leaving the following day, which meant I'd be less likely to go to the police. A few days after the attack, it hit me from an emotional perspective that I could have been killed. And if this had been a more organized gang, they could have wiped out my entire life savings. Think about it. When someone has access to your phone, they've basically got the keys to your digital life. Your Google account, your email, potentially all your passwords. They're literally holding your unlocked 2FA device in their hand, logging into your bank account, your crypto wallet, whatever they want. And the scariest part, they have hours to do it while you're unconscious. The substance? Probably scopolamine. In Brazil, they call it good night Cinderella. It knocks you out, makes you compliant, and you won't remember a thing. Sometimes it's mixed with other sedatives to hit harder. In Colombia, the women who use this trick are even nicknamed Scopo girls. They target male tourists, get them alone, drug them, and clean them out. In Medellín alone, many foreigners reportedly die each year from drug-related incidents similar to this one. So yeah, what would I do differently? Well, first of all, don't assume someone is safe just because they seem nice. What do they do for a living? Do they have a decent social media profile? What's their background? Avoid relying on fingerprint or face ID while traveling to unlock your phone or banking apps. Number 3, in your hotel room or apartment, use the safe. Lock up your valuables. Number 4, whether you're out in a bar or at home, always watch your drink, especially with people you don't know well. Sounds simple, but trust me, once you're tipsy, it's easy to let your guard down. Then finally, if you can, travel with friends. It might sound strange, but I'm actually kind of glad this happened to me. I've been traveling a lot over the past few years, and I think I started feeling untouchable, a little too safe. And honestly, I was a bit naive. In every sense, it was bitter medicine, but the patient needed it. This whole experience made me rethink how I manage my passwords, how I book trips with proper travel insurance, and how I can stay safe without giving up my passion for exploring the world. It also made me more careful with women I've just met, especially in exotic countries. I now vet them more closely and trust my gut if something feels off. But now I want to hear from you. Has anything similar ever happened to you? Drop it in the comments. Your story might help someone else stay safe. And as always, feel free to get in touch. You can email me at alex@polyglotradio.com or send me a DM at Instagram, and that's AGG_podcast. Don't forget that you can also follow the show on Spotify, Apple, or your favorite podcast app. And if you found this episode valuable, give it a like, subscribe to the channel, and share it with someone who needs to hear it. Stay safe out there, and as always, may you find the love you deserve.